It's a lovely good morning to you viewers out there. It's yet another exciting Monday where KBN, the finest television, brings you the most interesting topic trending across the country. And not only that, today we have aligned amazing topics for you, starting from in-house stories to newspaper headlines. And not only that, we have an interview lined up for you. You need to be glued to this TV station and just see what you can grasp, because today you know that health workers have been recruited, which are 3,205 have been recruited, and that list is published on the Zambia Daily Mail. It's indeed a beautiful morning, and I hope you have your cup of tea or coffee with you, because here in studio we're excited to bring the news to you. I'm Patricia Kumbuyo, and I'm not alone. I'm always with my partner, Mike Jovic Mwenda Chabe. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Patricia.
It's a beautiful morning.
Yeah, it is fresh from the weekend. That it makes sense. You're starting the week, and it's exciting to be here.
It is. It's another week. We're yet to see what's going to happen, which news is going to break the entire weekend. Yeah, it's exciting.
Definitely, just like Patricia did mention, it is a Monday, and we have a lot lined up for you, starting from the stories that made it to the news on Friday, that is Friday afternoon, Saturday, and Monday. All of those are here. Like Patricia mentioned, over 3,000 health workers have been recruited, and this list was supposed to come to be published on Friday, but Ministry of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Tabo Kawana did mention to say the Zambia Daily Mail, together with the Times of Zambia, had a fault, should be in their technicalities, hence the postponement to today, which is a Monday, and as we speak, he's already out. So if you applied, if you're in the database, like the famous saying goes about now, if you're in the database, then please make sure to say you buy yourself a copy of the Zambia Daily Mail or the Times of Zambia to see if you are the lucky one, or to see if maybe your relative or your close ones are the lucky ones as we speak. So the list is out, and we can only say congratulations to those that have made it, to those that have seen their names already, or to those that just have their names on the list, because it's just a matter of time before you actually see those names. But also remember to some of the things that trended over the weekend is over the 4,000 recruitment of police officers, of which it is termed as of coming from the database as well. So the database is becoming pretty much popular as
Indeed,
we speak.
we also need a database.
You need to be in the database as we speak, because
True.
if you're not in the database, then
You are left out.
definitely, because they might use the database that was put in 2023,
Yeah.
which just came here waiting for an advert. There is
True.
no advert coming.
Nothing.
They're using the database.
They're going back.
So those are the issues that we have lined up on today's show. But also remember to say Zambia's President Hakainde Hichilema successfully filed his nomination papers for the UPND presidential candidate ahead of the party's general conference on April 15th, 2026. Luapula province nominated President Hichilema, with Lusaka, Northern Western, Copperbelt, Eastern provinces seconding the nomination. Now, election chairperson Likando Mufalali confirmed Hichilema met the party's constitutional requirements. Mr. Mufalali stated April 12th, 2026 is the deadline for presidential nominations, and only one candidate has filed his nomination. He earlier reported successful ward constituency, district, and provincial elections. Elections Independent Commission representative Isaac Mwanza says the president-elect nomination has been certified as meeting all the requirements in accordance with Article 78 of the party constitution. So President Hakainde Hichilema just going unopposed in the UPND's party election. So it is confirmed. Come the 13th of August, it is President Hakainde Hichilema on the ballot on the UPND ticket. No opponent, unopposed?
No opponent. But who are the opponents? Because we know there are a lot, right?
Well, with the reports that came in actually yesterday, that the whole party believes in President Hakainde Hichilema, so just to give him the mantle and then he continues. So those are reports that came in after the election to say they still in firm belief of his leadership, and they still think and they still know, so to say, is the right man to lead them yet again going to the elections. Now remember, today is the 13th of April 2026, and that means we are exactly 122 days to the 13th of August 2026, and 122 days is the opposition united enough to make sure to say maybe just maybe they
just maybe
just maybe they might win the elections. Are they united enough? Are they solid enough? But anyway, we'll get into that conversation later. And on that note, we are doing this program live on 4 platforms. That is on KBN TV on Facebook, on DSTV it is channel 27, and Go TV channel 27, and Top Star channel 102. So those are the frequencies that you can catch us on. Remember, it is the finest television. On that note, we'll get straight into our in-house stories this particular morning.
And President Hakainde Hichilema has gone unopposed as the ruling UPND presidential candidate after being the only one who filed in his nomination for the party presidency. President Hichilema filed in his nomination papers yesterday at the Anderson Kambela Mazoka House ahead of the party's general conference slated for 15th April 2026. The president was nominated by Luapula province with secondment coming from Lusaka, Copperbelt, Eastern, Northern and Western provinces in line with the party constitution. And UPND chairperson for election, Likando Mfalali, declared President Hakainde Hichilema duly nominated candidate after having met all the party constitution requirement. Here's more to the clip.
I want to indicate that chairman elections, together with my committee, that we have come to the close of the nomination, and we have only, and since we opened the nomination to date, when we are closing this nomination, we have only received one candidate for the position.
Now we get to move on, where 3 people have died while 15 others sustained serious injuries in a road traffic accident that occurred on Saturday around 0940 hours in Luanshimba area along the Great North Road in Kapiriposhi district of Central Province. Now the accident involved a Nissan Caravan minibus registration number CAK 4236 ZM, a public service vehicle driven by Watson Sililo, aged 35 of Lusaka West. Zambia Police spokesperson Godfrey Chilavi says the vehicle had 18 passengers on board and was extensively damaged. Now, preliminary investigations indicate that the accident occurred when the driver was traveling towards Kabwe and due to excessive speed lost control of the vehicle. Mr. Chilavi says the vehicle veered off the road to the right and overturned into a drainage, and as a result of the impact, 3 passengers died on the spot. Yes, ma'am.
Preliminary investigations indicate that the accident occurred when the driver was traveling towards Kabwe. Due to excessive speed, he lost control of the vehicle. The vehicle veered off the road to the right and overturned into a drainage. As a result of the impact, 3 passengers died on the spot. The deceased were identified as Elton Mlenga, age 38 of Lusaka, another unidentified adult male of unknown residence, and a female juvenile whose identity has not yet been established. 15 passengers, comprising 5 males and 10 females, sustained serious injuries and have been admitted to Kapiriposhi District Hospital, where they are receiving treatment. The bodies of the deceased have been deposited in Kapiriposhi Urban Hospital mortuary pending identification and post-mortem examinations. Police investigations have been instituted to establish the full circumstances surrounding the accident. We urge all motorists to exercise caution, observe speed limits, and strictly adhere to road traffic rules and regulations to prevent loss of life.
Community Action Against Corruption says stakeholders demanding clarification on the Zambia Police Service in-house recruitment process should not limit their concerns to the current exercise. The organization's Chief Executive Officer, Brighton Tembo, says attention should instead be directed at deeper systematic weaknesses that allow irregular recruitment to persist. Mr. Tembo says the key issue is the source of institutional failures that continue to permit questionable recruitment practices within the service. He says this is not the first time allegations of irregular recruitment have surfaced in the Zambia Police Service, noting that similar concerns were raised in previous years. Mr. Tembo recalls that during the previous administration, recruitment were conducted in which members of the public were only presented with pass-out parades with no publicly available evidence of advertisement or selection process. Here is more.
We wish to advise the stakeholders who are demanding for clarification from Zambia Police concerning the recent recruitment process, which has raised the suspicions. So, we should not just focus on demanding for clarification. First, we should look at the details and look at the in-depth weaknesses that have made the Zambia Police to conduct what appears to be irregular recruitment in the service. Because if you remember very well, the current Inspector General of Police, Grafo Msamba, at some point stated that the former regime, the Patriotic Front, used to recruit cadres in the police service, but he did not provide evidence concerning that. But this time around, there is this evidence that is available. So the one who is authority order in this process is the Inspector General of Police himself, and is the one who can be answerable today or in future concerning this process. Even when we continue demanding for clarification, the Zambia Police has responded with a statement which has carried more impunity than resolution concerning this matter. So even further queries will not bring out what can explain this situation clearly. So it is only Inspector General of Police, Grafo Msamba, who is going to answer to the demands of Zambians in future, if this evidence is well kept.
And that's what we had in terms of in-our stories this particular morning. But we get to, go to a different segment where we take a key focus on different newspaper outlets to see the stories that they have in the paper. And one of them that we already know is the recruitment of the over 3,000 health workers that all of their names are in the paper this particular morning. Remember, after this, we'll be opening the phone line. So the number is showing on your screens. Make sure to say you put that number on speed out, because when we start, it's already on your marks. There is no get ready, said no, on your marks and then go. So make sure to say you polish your contribution, because when we open, then we need you to bring in your views in regards to the issues that we've talked about, and also the issues that you think deserve the platform. And these are issues that might be happening in your community. But in getting to the newspaper headline segment, we start with the News Diggers newspaper, of which the lead headline on the News Digger says it's unopposed as UPND presidential candidate. And another one says 23 million kwacha not enough for fix Unza Siwa crisis, Professor Mumba. And that story gets to continue on On the fourth page of the Newsdigger's newspaper, another one says Chikoti launches 51.1 billion Chinese-owned oil refinery project in Ndola. And that story is to continue on the second page of the Newsdigger's newspaper. The last one says NRFA introduces mobile money payment for targets. And that story is to continue on the seventh page of the Newsdigger's newspaper.
And now heading to the mass newspaper, the lead headline reads, Secret police recruitment explodes. Employment scandal sparks outrage, shocks Zambian. And it further reads, the Zambia Police Service has defended the method of recruitment, saying it was not advertised to the public because it is an internal exercise aimed at filling vacancies left by those who have left their service. And to my left in blue, disband UPND's ECZ Luvinda demands. This story continues on page 3 of the mass newspaper. And just down there after the blue top story, FBI condemns Radio Mpongwe raid. This story also continues on page 3, and the last top story reads, Chinese named for killing Chinese. This story continues on page 2 of the mass newspaper.
Now from the Mast, we go to the Daily Nation newspaper, which the lead headline on the Daily Nation newspaper says they want me off the ballot. It goes on it says a plot has been hatched to have him bumped off the ballot because he is the strongest threat to President Hichilema, but warns that Zambians will resist any acts of undemocratic tendencies. And allowance is UPND a chosen vehicle for Zambians. HH goes on to say to deliver development across the country equally and without any form of discrimination, to emancipate Zambians from poverty as he sails through an opposed other UPND nomination. And another one says newly appointed judges not arbiters of justice. And the last headline on the Zambia Daily Nation newspaper says SH deserves another mandate. And that is the last headline that we have on the Daily Nation newspaper.
And now moving on to Times of Zambia, the lead headline reads HH unopposed. This story continues on page 2, and another one in blue, turnout in numbers vote for HH UPND alliance, and this story also continues on page 2. Arnold Kalumba is new LAS president. This story continues on page 2, and just down there after the picture, 3 die, 15 injured in Kapiri RTA. This story continues on page 2. And to my left, 286 chiefs elated by increased subsidy. This story also continues on page 2, and on top there, Zambia, Vietnam to unlock rice potential in Western Province. This story continues on page 2. And another one just there on top, disease-free compartments open to all farmers. This story continues on page 7. And the last top story reads, Hampley lays it straight. This story continues on page 24, and that was the last top story on the Times of Zambia.
And that is actually the last paper that we have in the house, but as we go on, we'll come back with the Zambia Daily Mail paper to see what is it that they have on their front page of their newspaper this particular morning. But let's get to see if we can pick maybe probably a number of phone calls before we even transition to another segment of the program. So the phone lines are officially open. The number is 077-1214-913, 077-1214-913. That is the number that you use to call us right here in studio, and we'll be glad to actually receive your call. So who is it that is going to be our first caller this morning? And it's not just any other morning. Remember, it is a Monday morning, and energy levels should be very high because we're just starting the week. So it's not like a Thursday or a Friday It is a Monday, so get to call us and we'll get to have a conversation right here from you people together with us in a studio. Remember, as you call in, to reduce the volume on your TV set to avoid feedback. So remember to also be brief and be formal in your submission and not to attack or defame other people as you call in. If you can't, please, if you're at liberty to send us a text message, and that is in our box using the same number. If not, you can also use the same number on WhatsApp to send us a voice note, and we'll be more than glad to actually play it. And if not, yet again, go to our social media, that is Facebook. That is on Facebook, that is KBN TV, and this program is live there, so you can make sure as well to say you drop us a comment right there. And we go for a break. Stick around, we'll be right back.
When you have the internet, you have the news. But is everything online true? Breaking stories, live updates, debates, business, podcasts, sports, right in front of you. Social media has made everything easy for you to access, but is everything factual? Catch the Daylight Breakfast Show every Monday to Friday to kickstart your morning with latest stories and analysis. Catch Lunchtime Chat, keeping you up to date with on-ground stories. Tuesdays and Wednesdays has you hooked up with the Big Hour to discuss some of the biggest breaking stories in the country. Thursdays with State of the Nation, keeping you glued in the evening with the hottest issues in the country. And nothing beats KBN TV on weekends with entertainment 24/7. So if you want to get not only the best but the truth in current affairs, sports, business, entertainment, KBN TV is your finest television.
Good evening and welcome to the greatest show on earth. This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come. Let's go!
Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect to DSTV Compact and GoTV Super Plus today and get the best football on us.
Transform your office, retail, or branch space with DSTV for Business. Add top entertainment at great value with one of our DSTV work packages, the Ultra or Essential, and create a welcoming and informative setting with cutting-edge news, business, sports, lifestyle, music channels, and much more. Contact us today and let our experts guide you in selecting the perfect package. When it comes to entertainment, DSTV for Business is your ultimate partner. Whether you run a hotel, lodge, or guest house, keep your guests entertained and coming back for more with DSTV for Business. Our DSTV stay package options match your needs and budget. Make your visitor stay unforgettable with the best channels for sport, blockbuster movies and series, kids inspiration, lifestyle, documentaries, news, and more. Contact us today and let your guests experience your business at its best with DSTV for Business.
Our media house is committed to upholding the highest standards of professional conduct and ethics. As part of our dedication and responsible journalism, we have subscribed to the Code of Ethics established by the Media Self-Regulation Council of Zambia, MSCZ. We value your feedback and take any concerns regarding our content or professional behavior seriously. If you feel aggrieved by any aspect of our operations, we encourage you to reach out to the MSCZ Media Ethics and Complaints Committee for assistance and resolution. To lodge a complaint or seek redress, you can contact the MSCZ Ethics and Complaints Committee via email at mselfregulation@gmail.com or by calling the dedicated mobile number for media violations at 260-777-348695. Alternatively, you may also send your complaints in writing to the following address: Chairperson, MSCZ Media Ethics and Complaints Committee, PO Box 32295, Lusaka, Zambia. We appreciate your support in helping us maintain the highest standards of professionalism and integrity in our journalism. MSCZ Media Ethics and Complaints Committee, promoting a professional and ethical media in Zambia.
Just like Saka and Odegaard need to work together for the perfect play,
Rising to the occasion again.
your subscription is also at its best when paired with DSTV Stream.
This is not a coincidence.
With DSTV Stream, you can watch live TV or catch-up box sets anywhere, anytime on any smart device. And that's just the start of its amazing features.
Are you sure?
I think this is legit.
So whenever you want to enjoy DSTV, don't forget your free companion app, DSTV Stream. Serve goals, thrills, and high fives alongside your fries with DSTV for Business. And turn your pub, club, or restaurant into the ultimate entertainment hub with world-class live sport, breaking news, music, and so much more. Plus, with Extra View, you can also show multiple live events at the same time. Our DSTV Play packages are tailored to meet your needs and budget. Contact us today to serve up the ultimate entertainment experience with DSTV for Business.
Zambia, are you ready? This Easter, it's double joy with Topstar. TV is back to life. With national power restored, Topstar now delivers a stronger and more stable signal, bringing you breathtaking entertainment like never before. Feel the thrill with the premiere of Gangs of Manila Season 3, starting the 28th of March at 20:40 hours on Novella E+. Catch the world-class action of La Liga. Bundes, care for your Easter deal. Pay for 1 month of any bouquet and get upgraded to the next higher bouquet. Extra viewing days. Don't wait.
Well, thank you very much for staying with us. You are indeed the faithfuls of KBN TV, so we appreciate those of you that have stayed with us. Definitely. Now we get to continue with the newspaper segment, where we take a key focus on the Zambia Daily Mail newspaper, of which the lead headline on the Zambia Daily Mail says it's rallies party for August 13th. And goes on to say successfully follows as UPND presidential candidate. So that is the lead headline on the Zambia Daily Mail. But another one says it is our brand asset, UPND. And that story is to continue on the third page of the Daily Mail newspaper. Another one says HH to open Mulungushi Textiles Thursday. And that story is to continue on the third page of the Zambia Daily Mail. Another one says Jito urges men to hold up ladder for women. And another headline says Arnold Kaluwa heads Laz. Another one says mobile money now at Tobogate. And another headline says don't use phone while answering call of nature. And that story is to continue on the third page of the Zambia Daily Mail newspaper. Checking on what's inside, find with Rustama edges US-Iran. And that is international news, and it is to be found on the 9th page of the Zambia Daily Mail newspaper. And going to the inspirational quote of the morning, it says, be bold, be brave enough to be your true self, Queen Latifah. So that's all we had on the Zambia Daily Mail newspaper. Now we go to the
Daily Revelation newspaper. The lead headline reads, I'll cede to Kalaba if he stands, says Mouse. I told him if he will stand, then I won't, so we don't split votes as opposition. This story continues on page 2. And just under the picture there, Never celebrates HH unopposed victory. There was no need to change UPND presidency. This story continues on page 5. And in black, those threatened politically by Gary may be whispering negativity to his friend HH, says Monga. This story continues on page 2 of the Daily Revelation, and that was the last top story.
And that's where we come to the end of the newspaper segment this particular morning. Remember, we started with the News Diggers newspaper, all the way to the Mass, to the Daily Nation, to the Times of Zambia, to the Zambia Daily Mail, and finally to the Daily Revelation newspaper. But now we get to pick up your phone calls and read your text messages, but also we get to give you the sports updates. So you are just in time for that particular one. So we have a text in our box. This one says, "Morning, madam." This is Mr. Mwape from Dollar Ash. Mr. Mwape is only quitting Patricia this particular. Oh, wow.
Hi, Mr. Mwape.
It's morning, madam. This is Mr. Mwape from Dollar. I want to talk about the secret employment for police officers. I think it's wrong, actually, madam. I think it's wrong to my side. Let this happen in public, on paper, not like that. Thanks. Thank you very much, Mr. Mwape, for that particular text message. Another one says, let me see this one. Another one says, no UPND in 2026. Banda Kings, local land of plenty. Thank you very much, Miss Banda, for allowing to say your glory just again to the Daylight Breakfast Show. We're picking phone calls as you also get to talk about sports. Remember, the MTN Super League was on, that is on the weekend. We had the Copa Derby. Also, we had action in the English Premier League where the elephant, it seems to be losing its place on that tree. The elephant is disappointing.
It's not holding on tight.
It's not holding, you can imagine, and very disappointing if you ask me. I'm not a fan, but I would have loved for the elephant to still stay on top of that tree, but things don't look good. Things don't look good. But on that note, we get to start with the standings in the National League, where we get to see which team will actually get qualification come the 2026 to 2027 season, to see which team will be playing the MTN Super League next season. So we start with the ZPL National League standings, of which Makeni All Stars are on number 1. They have played 30 and they have 59 points. On number 2 is Ron United. They have played 30 and they have 58 points. On number 3 is Trident FC. They have played 30 as well and they have 57 points. On number 4 is Forest Rangers, having played 30 and they have 53 points. So those are the top 4 as we speak. And if the league was to end today, I know it won't end today because they will have to complete their fixtures, but these are the teams that are to get qualification into the MTN Super League. That is Makeni All Stars, Ron United, Trident and Forest Rangers. But following them closely is Toronto United. Toronto has played 30, they have 53 points. On number 6 is Kafue Celtic, having played 30 as well, they have 51 points. Let's get to talk to this one. Hello, good morning. Good morning. We lost that one, too bad, but we continue the ZPL National League table, where we get to see where Aguila Stars is standing, but they have entered also the conversation of who's going to qualify in next season. But let's get to take a look about the teams that are on the lower side, where we have Chambishi on number 15, having played 30, they have 28 points. On number 15 is Locust FC, they have played 29 and they have 28 points. On number 17 is River Plate, having played 30, they have 23 points. On number 18 is Mpulungu Hapa. Mpulungu has played 30 and they have 14 points. So those in red are the teams that are on the verge of getting demotion to the provincial leagues, away from the ZPL National League. But let's also look at the action that we had on Saturday, that is on the 11th of April 2026, of which this is in week 28 of the MTN Super League, where it was Mines United nil and Inkwazi FC 1, Napsa Stars 1 and FC Leopards 1, Green Buffaloes 1 and Mutondo Stars 1. So those are the results of the Saturday fixtures that were played on the 11th of April 2026. But still on a Saturday we had the Coppola Derby, or also known as, it's actually the Kitwe Derby, also known as the Coppola Derby, where it was Power Dynamos up against Nkana at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium, of which Power Dynamos managed to beat Nkana by a goal to nil, courtesy of Moses Shuma, who now stands at 18 goals so far this particular season. So Moses Chuma is the current top scorer with 18 goals, and the closest rival is having 10 goals, a difference of 8. Pretty interesting, I should make mention. This is good. Sonkana was baptized in Kitwe, was actually painted yellow by Power 90 by Ababusaka Abasunswa. And that is Power Dynamos, ladies and gentlemen, beating Ghana by a goal to now, silencing these Ghana fans and making sure to say they extend their lead or their point difference on the MTN Super League table. But let's get to look at the Sunday results, where we had action also on Sunday. That is on the 12th of April 2026 in week 28 as well, of which it was Zesco United 0 and FC Muza 0. It was mainly regarded as the battle of the courts, which it was Zesco United up against the elegant Dynamites of Mazabuga, and this is FC Muza. Stalemate, Spurs shared, and not bad for either side. A point is enough for FC Muza, or on the road. A point is enough for them, and for Zesco United, a team that is having issues as well, drawing against the stubborn Muza is also a plus for them. So fair results for both teams. Green Eagles won and Konkola Blaze won. Green Eagles were leading for most part of the game. They scored through Henry Reisa scored for them in the 25th minute, but they later went on until Boyd Musonda of Konkola Blades equalized for the Sharp Razor in 90 plus 2 minutes, of which Green Eagles thought they have it all, thought they had took it home, but no boy. Boyd Musonda was just watching and said, wait till we hit the dying minutes and you will see. Mufulira Wanderers 2 and Zanaco FC. Zanaco, the momentum has gone as we speak, and Mufulira Wanderers, the momentum, they're just building on that as they have now solidified their stance to make sure to say they send a statement in the league that says we are also aiming for CAF competition. We are also aiming for continental participation come next season by beating Zanaco FC by 2-0. Mabin Mpoyi scored a penalty in the 10th minute, and Joseph Etembwe scored immediately when the second half resumed, and that was in the 47th minute to give Mufulira Wanderers the 3 points that are well deserved. Zanaco FC, despite being handed a new bus by Zanaco Bank, they traveled all the way from Lusaka, going to Shinde Stadium in a new bus, only to be beaten. How you wish that new bus was a new signing or a new player. Maybe things could have been different for Zanaco. Also, Arrows was in action at the Nkoloma Stadium actually, and it was Red Arrows versus Cabo Warriors, of which it ended Red Arrows, the Army 3, and the Magnificent Warriors, the People's Team, Wadianjanji, Wadianjanji. Cabo Warriors won. Pretty disappointing result for Cabo Warriors. I should make mention Arrows scored first, the Angel Libamba in the 53rd minute, but quickly, 4 minutes later, Francis Banda equalized for the visiting team, that is Cabo Warriors. But as the game headed to the dying minutes, it was Akim Mumba who scored a direct free kick, ladies and gentlemen. It was marvelous to watch. And shortly after that corner kick goal, actually, it wasn't a free kick, it was a corner kick, and Akim Mumba scored a direct corner kick. And shortly after that corner kick goal, it was Albert Kangwanda who scored a penalty in the 90th minute to give the Airmen a much-needed win as they put a pressure on Power Dynamos, who are topping the MTN Super League. So it ended Red Arrows 3, Cabo Warriors 1. We had also action in Chingola, of which it was in Tanga Rangers, Amaranger versus Kansashi Dynamos, of which too bad for Nchanga Rangers. They have gone 4 games, no win, no draw. They have been beaten in their last 4 league games, of which things don't look good for Chicken George Rwandamina. He's yet to win a league match since he returned from Argentina. Well, did they learn? Anyway, I'll leave it on that. But yeah, as it stands, Chicken George Rwandamina is yet to win a game since his return from Argentina, where he went as head coach at the Chipolopolo in the friendly match that was played Argentina versus Zambia, of which, just a reminder, Zambia was beaten by 5-0, of which George Rwandamina said they went there to actually learn and get a little bit of experience, but maybe that experience that he got is only to be used at the national team, because if it is to be used at Ntanga Rangers, then definitely, trust me, it's not working today, tomorrow, or any other day. So it was Ntanga Rangers 1 and Kansashi Dynamos 2. Kansashi Dynamos dominated most of the matches. They scored, 2 goals. They scored first in the 25th minute, of which it was Baby Musangala who scored first, and Kalonji Mwepu equalized, scored another, not actually equalized, doubled the scores in the 62nd minute to give Kansashi Dynamos a 2-goal advantage. But Davy Zulu of Ntanga Rangers scored in 90 plus to make sure to say it ends Ntanga 1 and Kansashi Dynamos 2. Let's get to take a look of the MTN Super League table now to see how teams are actually standing, to see who is topping the table. So as you can see, Power Dynamos is on number 1 and they have played 26 games. They have won 17, they have drawn 2, they have lost 2. They have scored a total number of 40 goals and they have 58 points, ladies and gentlemen. Also to make mention, Power Dynamos is now, 9 games at beaten. It should be 9 games actually, if I'm not mistaken. So let's say over 9 games and beaten. And in talks of their last 5 games, they are all wins, not a single draw for Power Dynamo. So number 2 is Red Arrows, having played 28, having won 15 and drawn 9, having lost 4 and scoring a total number of 39 goals. They have 54 points. Number 3 is Mufulira Wanderers. They have played 28 and they have won 13. They have drawn 6 and they have lost 9 games and they have 45 points. So number 4 is Cabo Warriors, having played 27 games. They have 43 points. I should make mention, maybe I go a little bit on the top there. To make mention to say Power Dynamos has played 26 and they have 58 points. On the other hand, Red Arrows, who are second, they have played 28 and they have 54 points. So already Power Dynamos has 2 games in hand and they also have a 4-point lead on the table. If they win their remaining 2 games in hand, that means they will be actually sitting should be 11 points in their advantage, as they try to make sure to say the gap is actually widened, to make sure to say Red Arrows doesn't catch up. Number 5 is Ntanga Rangers. Ntanga has played 28, they have won 12, they have drawn 7, they have lost 9, and they have 43 points. Number 6 is Zanaco, having played 26, they have 42 points. Number 7 is FC Muza, the Elegant Dynamites of Mazabuga. They have played 28, they have won 11, they have drawn 8, and they have lost 9. They have scored a total number of 29 goals, and they have 41 points. So number 8 is Green Eagles, the Tonka 20 Boys. They have played 26, and they have 38 points. Number 9 is Kongola Blades, indeed Sharp Razor. They have played 28 and they have 37 points. Number 10 is Green Buffaloes. It is coming to the barracks. They have played 28 and they have 34 points. Number 11 is Zesco United. Zesco has played 25 games. They have 32 points. Number 12 is Kansashi Dynamos. They seem to be fighting pretty well as they were in the relegation zone, but as we speak, no boy, they are saying no to going to play in the National League because they're sitting on number 12 They have played 27 games and they have 32 points. Number 13 is Nkana. Nkana have played 28 and they have won 7. They have drawn 10 and they have lost 11, and they have scored a total number of 17 goals and they have 31 points. So number 14 is Motondo Stars. Motondo has played 28 and they have 28 points, and they are winners in their last 5 games together with Nkana FC. Well, number 15 is Nkwazi. Nkwazi have played 27 and they have 27 points to their name as well. They have, in their last 2 games, they have won 2 of their last 2 games actually, making it 2 consecutive wins, and they are also unbeaten in their last 4 games as they have 2 wins and 2 draws actually. Number 16 is Naps Stars. Naps has played 27 and they have 27 points. In they only have 1 win in their last 5 games. Number 17 is FC Leopards. Having played 28, they have 24 points. Number 18 is Mans United. Having played 27 games and they have 15 points. Is it time's up for Mans United? Well, I don't know. The table does know which team is scoring, which team is actually taking the league title. For it is pretty much clear to see which team is actually topping the table and going. But away from the FTS Super League, we go to England now, where we get to see the results of the games that were played over the weekend, of which it was Chelsea. Chelsea were beaten by Manchester City, of which it was Chelsea and nil actually, and Manchester City 3. Very disappointing for Chelsea when Arsenal thought they could put your trust in you, but you never had your trust in yourselves. Actually, you were trusting Manchester City on this one. So it was Chelsea 0 and Manchester City 3. Crystal Palace 2 and Newcastle 1. Nottingham Forest 1 and Aston Villa 1. Sunderland 1. Tottenham Hotspur 0. Tottenham have gone 14 games without a win in the I just wanted to say MTN Super League. It seems the MTN Super League is in me, but Tottenham has gone 14 games without a win in the English Premier League. Liverpool came back to winning ways in the league, as it was Liverpool 2 and Fulham United 0. Brentford 2, Everton 2, Burnley 0 and Brighton 2. Arsenal 1 and Bournemouth 2. Arsenal were beaten, like we mentioned with Patricia. The elephant doesn't seem to be holding where it's seated on the top. Is it time up? Where we await West Ham 4 and Wolves 0. But we also have action, as the biggest team in the world is playing tonight, of which it will be Manchester United up against Leeds United. Make sure to say you spare time for that particular game, as the biggest team is in action. It's been a while since we played, so we're coming with full force, and I can only predict a 5-0 in favor of Manchester United against Leeds United. This particular game might be realistic, no, but is there hope? Yes, we definitely have hope. Let's take a look at the standings. Arsenal is on number 1. They have played 32. They have 70 points. On number 2 is Manchester City, following closely with the game in hand. Actually, things are not good for Arsenal. What's happening? Manchester City is on number 2. They have played 31 and they have 64 points. If they win their game in hand, they will be sitting on 67 points, which means there will be a difference of 3 points between Arsenal and Manchester City. But also following up closely is Manchester United. They have played 31. Excuse me. They have played 31 and they have 55 points, and they are on number 3. On number 4 is Aston Villa. They have played 32 and they have 55 points. So number 5 is Liverpool, having played 32 and they have 52 points as well. Chelsea is on number 6, having played 32 and they have 48 points. Is Chelsea going to play the UEFA Champions League next season? I don't know. But if I put in too much consideration, no, they will not. Manchester United is the team that will be playing UEFA Champions League come next season. We want to bring back the competition. It's no longer interesting. Watch out for next season. Let's take a look at the bottom of the table, where Burnley is on number 19. They have played 32 and they have 20 points. They look like they are going. On number 18 is Tottenham Hotspur. What's happening to this team? They are number 18. They have played 32 and they have 30 points. Number 17 is West Ham, having played 32. They have 32 points. Number 14 is, or number 16 rather, is Forest, having played 32, and they have 33 points. Number 15 is Leeds, having played 31, and they have 33 points. Those are the standings of the English Premier League. And on that note, we come to the end of the sports update. Let's take a very quick break and we'll be right back. Stick around.
Dial *115# to subscribe or download the StarTimes Own app to renew your subscription. Zambia, are you ready? This Easter, it's double joy with Topstar. TV is back to life. With national power restored, Topstar now delivers a stronger and more stable signal, bringing you breathtaking entertainment like never before. Feel the thrill with the premiere of Gangs of Manila Season 3, starting the 28th of March at 20:40 hours on Novella E+. Catch the world-class action of La Liga, Bundesliga, and the Saudi Pro League. And for the kids, it's pure joy with Super Adult, Happy Friends, SpongeBob, and Bonnie Bears. Here for your Easter deal. Pay for 1 month of any bouquet and get upgraded to the next higher bouquet for free. Antenna Classic and D Super users get 5 extra viewing days. Don't wait. Dial *115# to subscribe or download the StarTimes Own app to renew your subscription right now. Topstar. Enjoy.
Got GoTV? Then GoTV Stream is already yours. It's your screen.
Lights out again? No problem. Who needs street lights when you've got screen lights? Grab your smartphones or tablets and experience uninterrupted entertainment with KBN TV's programming. Keep the fun rolling even when the power doesn't. Stay live, stay connected. KBN TV, the finest television.
Got GoTV? Then GoTV Stream is already yours. It's your screen, your vibe, your schedule, your rules. That means going from the big screen to literally any screen. And instead of just catching the highlights later, you'll catch it live. It's the same GoTV you love your way. And it's worth every penny. Download the GoTV Stream app today and start streaming your way.
School's out, fun's in, adventures on, homework done, and holiday mode is activated.
Let's hop to it!
And he scores!
This is your time. Holiday mode activated. Get and stay connected to DSTV and choose from a world of amazing kids entertainment.
Lights out again? No problem. Who needs street lights when you've got screen lights? Grab your smartphones or tablets and experience uninterrupted entertainment with KBN TV's programming. Keep the fun rolling even when the power doesn't. Stay live, stay connected. KBN TV, the finest television.
Salt Sana pa Topstar. Enhance your viewing experience with the Salt Sana Easter promotion from the 15th of March to the 30th of April. Pay 1 month on any bouquet of your choice and get upgraded to the next higher bouquet. You can also pay for Antenna Classic or D Super and get 5 extra viewing days. It gets better. Celebrate this Easter with exciting football entertainment in the Spanish La Liga, Bundesliga, Saudi Pro League, plus more on your favorite sports channels. Also catch the premiere of Gangs of Manila Season 2 from the 28th of March at 20:40 hours on Novella E+. So, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now to any bouquet and enjoy the Easter Salt Sana promotion, or download the StarTimes Own app and enjoy the action on the go. Topstar, enjoy digital life.
Got GoTV? Then GoTV Stream is already yours. It's your screen, your vibe, your schedule, your rules. That means going from the big screen to literally any screen. And instead of just catching the highlights later, you'll catch it live. It's the same GoTV you love your way. And it's worth every penny. Download the GoTV Stream app today and start streaming your way.
School's out, fun's in, adventures on. Homework.
Harry Kalaba, president of the Citizens First Party and former Foreign Affairs Minister, has formally raised alarm over the state of Zambia's electoral process ahead of the August 13th, 2026 general elections by addressing a detailed letter to Evariste Ndayishimiye, the chairperson of the African Youth. Now, the letter outlines serious concerns surrounding the independence of the Electoral Commission of Zambia, the timing of key appointments, and the potential exclusion of political parties through proposed legal changes. Zambia, holding a record of having a democratic stability in Africa since 1991, now faces growing scrutiny over whether it can uphold its legacy of credible, free, and fair elections. Joining me in studio is today, this particular morning actually, is Harry Kalaba, who is the president of the Citizens First Party. Mr. Kalaba, good morning, and it's good to have you on the Daily Breakfast Show.
Thank you very much, my brother. I'm happy to be here. It's always good to be on KBN.
We're actually very glad as well to actually have you back. Now, to start with, Mr. President, recently you wrote a letter to the African Union. What is it that prompted you to actually write this letter?
Well, we are very worried as a party, generally, with the way things are panning out. We have seen that the leadership of the UPND is determined to ensuring that they appoint to the Electoral Commission of Zambia people that are friendly to them and their interests. This is not what it should be. The Electoral Commission of Zambia is a body that represents the fountain of decision-making for the people of Zambia. And anybody trying to fidget with it or to prostitute with it undermines the very credence of that institution. And so for us as Citizens First, we thought that it is important that we alarm the international bodies, particularly the African Union, the European Union, the Southern African Development SADC, the British. These are cooperating partners that have been working closely with Zambia in ensuring that Zambia's democracy is upheld. So we have pushed this agenda, and we hope that the President, Mr. Hichilema, will rescind his decision that he has made in appointing non-UPND affiliates to the electoral body.
Do you think Zambia's democratic stability is at stake as we speak?
Of course, Zambia's democratic stability is at stake if you begin playing around with bodies such as the Electoral Commission of Zambia. Remember, the Electoral Commission of Zambia has held elections in this country that have been deemed to be free and fair. The credibility of that institution has never been put in question by our cooperating partners. Never. That is why we witnessed in 1991 the change of guard from a ruling party to an opposition party. Again, we saw the change of guard in 2011 from again the opposition to the ruling, from the ruling to the opposition, and again we saw it in 2021 when Mr. Hichilema himself came to power. He was coming from the opposition going into government. It was the Electoral Commission of Zambia that was at the epicenter of that decision making. And so to see the ECZ being reduced to an extension or an appendage of the UPND is worrisome, because we have been known as a country that has promoted democracy. We have been known as a country that has insisted that the people's voice must be heard. We have been known as a country that has laid within the SADC framework in terms of democracy. And therefore, to see what is happening at the electoral body is not only worrisome, but it also takes away from the very credentials that we have created for ourselves over a period of time.
The composition of the Electoral Commission of Zambia has raised questions as we speak over the credibility of the institution. since these appointments were done, what do you think should be done as we speak? If maybe the UPND are actually listening, if the government is actually listening and trying to make things right, what should be done as we speak?
I would want to tell President Hakainde Hichilema, hopefully he's listening to me, that Mr. President, be magnanimous. I think you swore to defend the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia. Be true to the people of Zambia. Don't play games with them. You are playing with the Electoral Commission of Zambia, which is a very bad thing that you're trying to do. You are trying to hijack the interests of the people of Zambia for your own interests. I think you shouldn't do that. I think stop it. Henceforth, would you please consider withdrawing those appointments that you have made? We have already complained as Citizens First over the appointment of Madam Mwangala Zalomes to head that body. We have not appreciated that. We have complained as Citizens First over the appointment of Mr. McDonald Chipenzi as commissioner at the Electoral Commission of Zambia, because all these have got roots pointing to the UPND. And because of that, the credibility of the institution has been put on trial. And so we are telling Mr. Hichilema, if indeed you are a Democrat, as you have always claimed to be serious with your appointments and appoint people that are going to represent impartiality at the electoral body. For as long as you have got people who are carrying cards, for as long as you've got people that are affiliated with the UPND, you will not talk about a free and fair election when you are appointing people that should be carrying your interests. The Electoral Commission of Zambia, this is where we should have seen your being responsible to govern the country. The way Mr. Hichilema is acting with a very high sense of irresponsibility by appointing people that should never be at the electoral body.
Let's get to the proposed electoral bill. How is it affecting emerging parties and parties that have already established their grounds?
Look, I think when you look at the electoral process bill that will be going to Parliament, I think also it is designed to undermine political parties' credibility. The electoral process bill is now seeking to remove watermark features on the ballot paper, on the ballot box, on the ballot paper. When you look at a country like Kenya, just the ballot paper has got over 12 watermark features. 12. Because they want to be sure that nobody can replicate that. While Kenya is increasing its watermark features on their ballot papers, here in this country we have got people who are not serious with the electoral process proposing to you that we should even remove that only one watermark feature you have because we're having a lot of spoiled ballots. I think that is not being serious. I think we shouldn't tamper with that. Then you've got an issue where the bill is proposing that Secretary Generals of parties are the only ones who should be able to sign a certificate of adoption for candidates. Again, that is limiting the powers of political parties, because political parties are clubs that are governed by their own independent constitutions. In the Citizens First, the one who should be signing those adoption certificates, the Central Committee as well as the General Conference have deposited it in the president of the party. So if you say that, because the ECZ has said it should be a Secretary General, it means you are getting powers from the Central Committee of an organization like the Citizens First to the Electoral Commission of Zambia. I think that is wrong. We need to understand the intentions of them doing that, but otherwise we come to understand that all these machinations are being employed to disenfranchise not only political parties but the Zambian people as well. Yeah.
The reports that are coming in here are that the process is actually excessively long in the same proposed bill. Do you think this is actually a deliberate move to make a barrier for certain political players?
Yes, exactly as I'm saying. It is the same machinations that are being employed to make it extremely difficult for political players. Just look at the nomination process that we'll be having as presidential candidates. First of all, they have put up what they are calling the pre-screening of presidential candidates, and then payment of the fees, and then after that you've got accreditation of members to the presidential nomination. Then after that you've got the issue of now the actual filing in of nominations by individual candidates, and then the ECZ will give us 4 days in which to wait for the results. In 2021, when I was participating in the elections, the Electoral Commission of Zambia was making the decision just right there and then to tell you, you have qualified. Congratulations, you've qualified, you're going to be on the ballot. And it was not 4 days that it was taking. So it was something that was very straightforward. Now, it's like you submit papers and then they get back to you and tell you, no, you have not gone through. Basically, the electoral process bill is giving strength to the Electoral Commission of Zambia to disqualify political parties on account of their own assessment, which is grossly unfair. And when you look at the period that they have given, there's even no window for a political party to run to court, because then the election cycle kicks in into the 13th August elections.
Now, you've reported, all these issues to the African Union. Does that undermine national sovereignty in the country?
No, it doesn't at all. Zambia is a member of the Global Village. Zambia is a member of SADC. I was Foreign Affairs Minister in this country, and I used to observe elections myself. When you go to observe elections in Lesotho, you go to observe elections in Eswatini or South Africa, it doesn't mean you are going to undermine what is happening in that country. What just happens is that you are going to enhance the SADC resolutions that you have crafted for yourselves as member states. So Zambia is a member of SADC. Zambia is a member of the African Union. There are certain protocols that we have signed to as a country that we are going to uphold those protocols. And so you can't be here when you've signed protocols in Addis Ababa, you've signed protocols in Gaborone, Botswana, and you are here doing your own things. What we are doing is to tell the international community of how hypocritical the Zambian government is trying to be, of how they're trying to undermine the very SADC and the African Union credentials that they themselves have acceded to. On the part of the American government, as well as the British and the European Union, these are long-standing cooperating partners with Zambia. They have been funding Zambia in various social and economic sectors. And therefore, it is only imperative that they get to know what's happening in the country that they're giving monies to, so that if they have got a voice to raise, they should raise. I mean, a country like America is very strong on issues of human rights. To disenfranchise a voter is a part of a human rights violation. How do you expect human rights to be upheld when you've got people trying to play imingalato around the electoral process? If you have worked as they have said they have worked, why would they find it difficult just to go into an election without them playing games? So that is the problem that we have, and I think it is our inescapable duty to inform the cooperating partners, to inform these international bodies about the mischievous manner in which the UPND government is trying to conduct business.
Now we are exactly 122 days before the 13th of August 2026. What assurances would you love to see that would bring back your confidence in the electoral process?
I think we are very clear on that thing. We would want the electoral process bill withdrawn from Parliament. It should not see the day of light in the corridors of Parliament. We would also want to see that the appointments that we have raised are immediately revoked. The appointment of the gentleman who wants to stand as a UPND parliamentary candidate must be withdrawn. McDonald must be recalled, as well as Mangalaza Lomis. They have got no business being at the Electoral Commission of Zambia if they are also talking to UPND and cheering UPND on. It means that the process is being falsified, and this is a very serious matter. And I'm glad to tell you that the African Union has indicated that they have received our letter, so they'll be responding to us, and we'll share with you as soon as they do. SADC has received the letter in Gaborone. The American embassy here received the letter and they confirmed. The European Union here has received it and they confirmed, and the British have also received it and they have confirmed. We are happy that the international community is now aware of the manner in which this government is trying to manipulate issues at the Electoral Commission of Zambia. We are also happy that the hypocrisy of our president is being unveiled before the international community, so that he can stop masquerading as a Democrat that he has never been.
You think all of these things that are happening are because of fear in the ruling party? Because of fear. Do you think it is because of fear coming to the election or the polling day, making sure to say, a number of appointments maybe can be met before the polling day?
Look, of course, it is fear that is happening in the UPND. Mr. Hichilema might look confident that he's coming back to power. He is not sure. He is not sure he's coming back to power. And from where I stand, doing the permutations, the calculations we are doing, Mr. Hichilema has got no business getting back into government come this August. All we need to do, and that's why the CF is now talking about unity, is to close ranks within the opposition. And once we close those ranks, Mr. Hichilema will never see the corridors of power again. Clearly, he has lost credibility. He has lost support, even within his own party. He has lost support.
No, he went unopposed just yesterday in the presidential.
Even Idi Amin used to go unopposed in Uganda. I mean, going unopposed doesn't mean that you are popular. I mean, Idi Amin went unopposed several times there in his country. It doesn't mean that he was popular. I mean, we have seen dictators that have been going through unopposed. It doesn't mean that you've got the people's support. Zambia is a different country, and because of its uniqueness, I am supremely confident that the people will pass the correct verdict come August this year, and that the verdict they are going to pass is that Mr. Hichilema has got no business to be near the corridors of power.
Well, the phone lines are now officially open. Get to call us. The number is 077-1214-913, 077-1214-913. Call us by the number that is showing on your screens, and we'll be more than glad to actually receive your phone call. If you can't, please send us a text message as we get to continue having a conversation with Citizens Vice President Harry Kalaba. If you have a question as well, he's here to respond, and pretty much, or even a clarification, he'll be here to make sure to say he answers one or two. So you're at liberty to call in. You're also at liberty to bring in some of the issues that are affecting your community. What do you think deserves to come on TV? As we have someone who is aspiring for, for the highest office in the land. Now, Mr. Kalaba, as we continue with the conversation, many a times during press briefings, during interviews, you've mentioned of your willingness to work with other political opposition players. Just any update speak on that, on who you're working with as we speak? Are there developments? Because you said it's not that the citizens first can't win elections on their own, but it's because you want to increase your chances of making sure to say the UPND government is actually, moved out of power come the 13th of August.
Yeah, I think for us as Citizens First, we have made a lot of progress in regard to opposition coalition talks. We've been talking to almost everybody out there in the opposition without leaving out anybody, because there's unity in numbers. We have made tremendous progress in that regard, and I think for us the concessions we are making is not a sign of weakness. I think it's a sign of strength, that we recognize, first of all, that on our own we cannot do this. Even though we can do it, we also recognize that we can do it with a lot of difficulties and hurdles. But why would we go through those hurdles when there's an easier way of doing it? And the easier way of doing it is by allowing others to hold hands with us, so that we make one credible thing apparent.
Any update on which opposition political player you are working with?
We're working with the point I'm making is that we are talking to everybody in the opposition, without leaving out or without really singling out anybody. We are trying to talk to everybody, and sometimes it's not good for us to say we talk to that one, we talk to that one. We leave it to time. Time will tell. But so far, I can report to you, sir, that we are doing very well in that regard. Even this afternoon, I'll be meeting some 2 opposition leaders that called me before I came here. They want to see me. So we'll be meeting them and hear what proposals they have and see how best we can amalgamate. This is a year of bending. It's a time of talking to one another. It's a time of give and take. And we in the Citizens First believe that united we stand, divided we fall. Yeah.
Oh, the phone lines are still open. The number is 077-1214-913, 077-1214-913. That is the number that you can use to actually get to have a conversation with us here in studio. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, President.
Good morning, sir.
Your name and where you're calling us from?
From Northern Province.
We can hardly hear you, sir. Your name again?
I'm speaking to one of our people all the way from Northern Province.
Please go ahead with your contribution.
I just want to touch on the issue of ECZ. There's no way we can attend abantu amasupporters benude omwabika ku ECZ point. Binshi baletina mugensoba kwete tubafwaya tatulebafwaya baleya nabo bene bashirira point abene bakera pamo natotera mutwaye.
All right, thank you very much for your contribution. You can also be part of this interesting conversation by calling the number that is on your screen. Our first caller, Mr. Kalaba, is just mentioning to say why these appointments. It's because of fear, because resulting in these appointments, but it's time up for the UPN.
Yeah, I think he is right. By UPN, I know Mwenso, because they have not delivered. Had they delivered, they would be very confident of winning these elections. But you can see that they are a fearful lot. And some of us know that even that courage they are showing is what we call Dutch courage. Those are the last kicks of a dying horse. You know, on my Facebook page, I gave an analogy this morning that Bankana ngawalete bola na ba power dynamos na mighty Frida Wanderers. Mabola shani Bankana abalete na ba nani over star point Bankana bene ebalanda tu uye wala ba referee muri bola tulete Bankana bene ebalanda tu uye ama linesman for twala mipela. How can they lose that game?
Let's get to talk to this one. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, President Harry Kalaba.
Good morning. How are you, madam?
Fine, thank you.
Your name and where you're calling?
My name is Kayula. I'm calling from Luansha.
Please, Kayula, go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, I want to join the president in the recent currencies, sending the reporting to AU. I would love to say that was a great move, and us from Rwanda, we applaud it, and this is the thing that we realized to say there's really a true leader in you, because we all prepped how you are able to defend the democracy that Zambia has in you. We've also observed that you are setting ground on making sure that this country is run in the correct manner and we follow the right procedure. You are definitely going to rule. Continue with what you are doing, and we are depending on you, because you've seen that Zambia is raising leaders who want to rule the country in a manner that's befitting the beneficial to every Zambian in all hierarchies and in all statuses. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kaila, actually, for that contribution. You can also be part of this conversation. Call us. The number is 077-1214-913, 077-1214-913. If you can't call us, please feel free to send us a text message in our box, and we'll be more than glad to read it out. Now, the previous caller, Ms. Kaila, is just commenting, saying, it's good that you are defending the democracy in the land and continue with what you're doing.
I'm first of all very grateful to Madam Kayola from Rwanda for that encouragement. Sometimes we need encouragement from everybody to just see that we are doing what is right. Ours will be to defend what is right for this country, and we do it without malice. We are not doing it because we hate anybody, because some people might misconstrue it as, no, Kalaba is just jealous. Why would I be jealous of the president? Why would I be jealous of the UPND? I've got no business being jealous with them, but I've got every business in ensuring that they don't destroy what they found. They found an Electoral Commission of Zambia that was capable of making a sitting government leave power. Why do they want to change the rules? Why do they want to bring a moribund ECZ that is going to favor UPND? The job of the Electoral Commission of Zambia is to conduct free and credible elections in this country. It is not to help anybody to continue being in power. That's not their job. If they want to help anybody being in power, they should just go ahead and continue being members of the UPND, if that's what they want. There, when they are there, they are expected to maintain certain decorum.
Mr. Kalaba, as we get to talk to this one. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is Mlenga. I'm calling from Lusaka. Good morning, President Harry Kalaba.
Good morning, Madam Mlenga. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I want to comment on the rule of law that President HH promised that you uphold. Now it's like he has gone back on his word, and he's putting people in positions that they're not supposed to be. So now, how is he upholding the law when he is the one who is breaking it? Because as a leader, you are supposed to look after your people and make sure that everything is going as it should be, that you are putting the people that are supposed to be in those positions who are going to uphold the law accordingly. Now, ngamwaisa senda ama cadres oyo mwalika nomba muma positions oyo tabafiri okubika nishi finish barefa okutatifu fewekala chalo tulande pona ngu ofo twala tonto nyawushe waisa mukona ole chalo nangu waisa mkuchiwame but wala tibakesa mkuchitafix. But right now what we can see is that he has just come to dismantle everything that he promised that he would do. So Kalaba nimwe watulelo lekeshapo tulelo mbokutira ati imwe pantu mwaliteka po mwalishweko swile okuba nimwe watuleke tekero kutatinga mwaisa mkuteka Kalaba kwene chawechi mukachini okulingana na leso amano akamipera nofakala mitungulula ukutumika chitukulune twalomba ati Kalaba kwena.
As you conclude, Madam Lenga.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. That is Madam Lenga. She first started with the rule of law. Maybe mentioned to say the President Hakainde Hichilema is actually going back to his words. He promised to uphold the rule of law, but what is happening, according to Madam Lenga, is actually different.
Madam Mlenga, thank you very much for those niceties you've lavished on me. I'm grateful for the confidence that you are counting on me this year for to be elected as President of Zambia, and I can tell you, given the opportunity, we are going to uphold the rule of law. We'll ensure that the Zambians are given the powers that are due to them. We'll also ensure that this country, Zambia, is for everybody, regardless of where you come from. I think that is the personal pledge I can make here. Also, the fact that President Hichilema had vowed to stick to the rule of law, which he's not doing right now. I think Madam Mlenga is on terra firma to call on the president to ensure that he pays heed to what he said he would do. We don't want a situation where the president wants to begin playing around with state institutions. He will need these state institutions when he leaves power this August. He should leave them intact, because it is these same state institutions that are going to help him after we retire him in August.
As we get to conclude the program, there is public outcry out there over the recruitment of over 4,000 police officers, of which many, the youths out there and many others are actually, making public outcry to say there was no, advert that was published, and all of a surprise, there are people that are going to train. Maybe we'd just love to get your comment on that.
Again, this is a problem that we are seeing with the UPND leadership, because first of all, I'll speak as a former civil servant who has been in the system for 10 years as a civil servant. I know that the constitution of this country requires public institutions, when they are employing, to create transparency and give opportunities. It's a requirement. And give opportunities to all Zambians. What the UPND has done, somebody will be answerable in the not too far distant future, because what they have done is to deprive Zambians of an opportunity to participate in their own country's warfare. There are young people out there who would have wanted to be police officers. There are police officers today, as you and I are speaking, who are in the police camps, and they have got children, and they didn't even know about the police recruitment. Why should a government that has promised to abide by the rule of law begin employing police officers secretly? Just why should they do that? And you employ 3,000 and you lie that no, it is filling up staff vacancies. What staff vacancies can there be for 3,000 police recruits, cadets that you are getting into the police service? These are anomalies, and this is destroying a country. There is no way, and we have seen letters flying all over the place from the UPN Secretariat submitting names of cadres to the police service. That is not the way to run government. That is not the way to run government, and we will not allow that. We will not support that. That is illegal. What is happening right now, it might be done the way they're doing it, the police and everybody, and they think it is right. But I can tell you, somebody will be answerable for this huge omission. Because there is a child out there, there's a young girl out there, a young boy out there who would have wanted to participate in the emancipation of their country by being part of the police, wear that a police uniform, and feel proud that I'm a police officer. They have been denied an opportunity because they are not affiliated to the UPND. That is unacceptable, and we cannot tolerate that.
Obviously. As we get to close the interview, in line with the letter that you wrote to international bodies, how should citizens out there view the current happenings of the recent appointments as well as the electoral process?
Our people out there need to be very alert. They need to be very vigilant. They need to know that we are in very precarious situations. We are in very deep waters with the current government. They're trying to manipulate the state institutions to their own advantage. But we can tell you that we are going to remain alert. We'll ensure that we hold them accountable without fearing them, because so we'll hold them accountable. They will not get away with it. And we are pushing this matter, by the way. It's not going to end here. We have written to them. This morning I'll be writing to the church mother bodies as well over the same matter. And then we have given the UPND government up to Friday this week, in which they should act on some of these demands that we have given. If not, we are applying to the police as Citizens First to have countrywide protests. Of course, it's within our purview. It's given by the law, and this will be peaceful demonstrations that we want to do, again, to draw international as well as local support for Mr. Hichilema's behavior to be tamed. He should not think he's a king. He's not a king. He was just elected, and they're going to boot him out in August.
Mr. Kalaba, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity. Thank you.
I was joined by Citizens First President Harry Kalaba, where we were talking about the electoral process as well as the letter that he wrote to international bodies on the current democratic space of Zambia. But on that note, that's where we come to the end of this program. It was lovely being here, and I hope you enjoyed the program as much as I did. We're back tomorrow at 07:30 hours. My name is Mike Jovic Mwendesabe, and please have a lovely day.
Live from Lusaka, Zambia. This is the KBN TV's Daylight Breakfast Show.